Hey everybody, welcome back to the Life and Real Estate YouTube channel. This is Joshua Shorter. Today we're going to be talking about renting versus owning. What's the difference between the two? Stick around and you'll be finding out. Alright, so a lot of people have been asking, what's the difference between renting and owning? And today I want to break that down in three different categories for you. The first category that I want to tackle is called freedom. Now, as a renter, when it comes to your freedom, there are landlord restrictions. A lot of times you can't paint your walls a certain way or hang your decorations up a certain way. And even there are limits on the types of appliances that you can have in your unit. And, when you are an owner, you have the freedom to be able to paint your home the way you want to paint it, to do decorations the way you want to do them, to have whatever appliances that you want to have. Whatever you decide, that's what you can do in your home. Next, as a renter, your maintenance depends on your landlord. As opposed to owning, if you're an owner, you do your own upgrades and repairs. And many times, as an owner, you'll have to pay money out of pocket to do your own upgrades and repairs. Whereas renting, a lot of those things are kind of baked into the price that you pay for rent on a monthly basis. Next, as a renter, there may be pet and guest limits. Some places won't allow you to have certain types of pets. Some places will put limits on the number of guests that you can actually have at your place. Whereas when you are an owner, you can open your home to whoever you like. You can have whatever type of pet you want. If you want 3 dogs, if you want 5 dogs, if you want 10 cats. I don't recommend having 5 dogs or 10 cats. You probably go crazy. But you have the freedom to be able to do as you wish when you are a homeowner. Now, let's talk about the next category, which is called equity. When you're a renter, you don't have any increase in equity because all of that goes towards your landlord. When you're a homeowner, say for example, if your home appreciates in value, all that value comes back to you. Now, what do I mean by appreciation? Basically, if you bought a home for $300,000, right, and over the course of a year, your home's value appreciated and increased by 10%, the next year, your home would actually be worth $330,000. So you bought it for $300,000, it appreciated 10%, and now it's worth $330,000. So that value and that appreciation belongs to you as an owner. When you are a renter, you don't get certain tax breaks. But when you are an owner, you can actually deduct the mortgage interest and the property taxes from your income. Now, moving on to the last category, I want to talk about stability. As a renter, when it comes to stability, your neighbors are always changing. You might have one set of neighbors for 6 months. The next 6 months could be a different set of neighbors because, a lot of places that rent out spaces, they do it for short-term leases. They do it for, 6-month leases. They do it for 1 year. So it's the kind of situation where, it's not really designed for people to be there for a long time. When you are a homeowner, you might actually have the same neighbors for 15, for 20, for 25 years, 5 years. There's a lot more longevity in that. There's less turnaround because, when people decide to invest in a home, they're usually in it for the long haul, right? Most times they'll take out a 15-year mortgage or a 30-year mortgage. So they're looking to be in a place for a longer amount of time. So your neighbors are actually going to be changing less. As a renter, there's always the threat of, maybe your rent increasing, or maybe there being future fees of some sort, and possibly, God forbid, if you ever lost your job and you couldn't make, your rent payment, you would be facing the threat of eviction. When it comes to your fixed mortgage payments, those payments actually remain the same throughout the entire life of the loan, right? So if I start off in year 1 and I'm paying $1,000 towards my mortgage, in year 10, I'm still going to be paying $1,000 a month towards my mortgage. In year 20, I'm going to be paying $1,000 a month towards my mortgage. In year 30, I'm still going to be paying $1,000 a month towards my mortgage. Whereas if you're a renter, that rate may fluctuate, every 6 months or maybe once a year. You might have an increase in the amount that you pay. So, it's a lot more stable when you are a homeowner versus a home renter. As an owner, your mortgage payments basically end when the loan's balance is paid in full. So say for example, if you have a 15-year mortgage, if you've made payments for those 15 years, and say for example, the entire balance of your mortgage is $300,000, once you have made payments equaling the amount of $300,000, you never have to pay anything else on that again. That's your place, you own it, you have the deed, it's yours, and if you ever decided to sell it, you would be able to reap and return the full value of that home. So that's a benefit that you don't necessarily get as a renter. I hope that helped to give you some clarity on what the difference between the two is. And one thing that you can take away from this is that regardless of what you decide to do, you're going to be paying to live somewhere. If that's in the form of rent, or if that's paying yourself, by having a mortgage, and those payments in the mortgage come back to you later in value, you're going to be paying someone. The question is do you want to pay a landlord, or do you want that value to come back to you? And that's the question that you have to ask yourself when it comes to home ownership versus renting. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that you've enjoyed the content. Please subscribe, hit that big red button below if you haven't yet, and please stay tuned for more content coming out. We're looking at doing a video each week, and we'll be letting you know what day of the week that content will be coming out on. So you all be blessed, stay safe during these times, take care, and I hope to see you next time.